Our story officially starts in Japan. Our male lead, Joo Ho Jin, is a translator and has just helped a mentor of his with some translation work. He has flashbacks featuring a girl. We can deduce he still has feelings for her, although we don't know who she is now. Our female lead, Cha Mu Hui, is navigating Japan using translation apps, seemingly in search of someone. She arrives at her destination, a ramen restaurant. From her conversation with the translation app, we can deduce that she is here to confront a woman who Muhi's boyfriend has left her for. Joo Ho Jin too is at this restaurant, and very fortunately for an Italian couple whose son suddenly collapses due to a medical condition, he quickly swoops in and translates, ensuring they get the medical help they need. Upon his return to the restaurant, Muhi begs him to translate for her, but Ho Jin is like,
ew to the na, na.
He, just like us, has heard her conversation with the app and would prefer to subtract himself from this woman-on-woman crime. He eventually relents to help her, but makes it clear he won't translate insults or swear words or anything of the sort. They return to the restaurant and she finds out the cheat has traveled, but she eventually is able to speak to the so-called boyfriend snatcher, and lo and behold, she's pregnant. The atmosphere is tense and awkward, made more awkward by the fact that they have to converse through Ho Jin. Muhi storms out after Ho Jin relays that the woman, Eiko, is 7 months pregnant, visibly shocked because the cheat broke up with her a mere 3 months ago. Do the math. Eiko asks if the woman who just left is Cha Mu Hui, and that she needs to speak to her. How does she know of Cha Mu Hui? What does she want to tell her? We're about to find out just how shit the cheat is. Eiko says, "The father of my child is my ex-husband and not the cheat, Eugene. Even though I knew it was selfish, I wanted to rely on his kindness. But if Miss Cha Mu Hui is able to change his mind, I'd happily let him go." Damn. He reiterates that he doesn't translate words that will hurt another person. She pleads with him, he relents and calls Muhi back in. All three continue their talk. Eiko confirms that those periods of time the cheat would disappear on Muhi, he was actually with her. Muhi then gloats in the fact that he always returned to her and suggests that he might be staying with Eiko cause he pities her, pregnancy and all. Girl, that is nothing to be proud of.
Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
Ho Jin doesn't translate this, but from Muhi's demeanor and smug smiles, Eiko has some idea that she's been viewed as the other woman, the homewrecker, the one using her pitiful circumstances to hold on to a man. She then retaliates and makes it clear. She and the cheat Eugene have been dating since he studied in Japan, and he left her when his heart was stolen by another woman, a woman who had been abandoned by her family, she adds. So, Mr. Bedhopper was also broadcasting people's family secrets. Idiot. Ho Jin doesn't deliver the message cause, look at the two women, and Muhi already looks like a gust of wind will shatter her. She barely manages to hold it all together and not burst into tears. Ho Jin diffuses the situation and saves her some face, and then they leave the restaurant. The family he helped earlier calls to give their thanks and offer their restaurant reservation to him as they're still stuck at the hospital. He invites Muhi to join him and she accepts. They both agree to tour together until it's time for the reservation. Their conversation reveals that Muhi is an actress, not yet well known because she's only done small roles. He too opens up that he had come here with someone before, but he had misinterpreted her feelings, someone he still has feelings for. They try to locate the restaurant, and just as they are close to finding their way, he gets a call. The woman he likes is in Japan, very likely at the spot they just left. Muhi encourages him to seize the opportunity, and after briefly hesitating, he leaves.
No, you made the wrong decision!
We move forward to some time in the future. Muhi is acting in a zombie movie and she's playing the lead. Yay, progress. It's the last day of shooting. The director and stunt director have some sort of disagreement and are loudly arguing. We see the aftermath of it with Muhi having to perform a stunt herself. The stunt involves her falling backwards from the edge of a building. The director yells, "Action!" She makes the jump. Few seconds later, he yells cut and her descent is suspended by cables. As she's been reeled back up, something snaps. She goes crashing down as the crew looks on in horror. We then see her in a pool of blood. The next time her eyes open, she's in hospital surrounded by doctors. From the media coverage, we see the zombie film she was acting in was actually a global hit, and her accident and now recovery is being mentioned by news channels all around the world. She sits on her hospital bed pondering on the drastic change that has occurred between her seemingly closing her eyes and opening them now. End of episode 1. Mui is written to be a bright and warm character. Now, sometimes with this type of character, I get annoyed. I wonder if the character's head has had frequent interactions with a rock, and that if someone like this came near my glass half-empty self, I would bite them. But the way Going Jung portrays an optimistic and cheery personality, I find the character so warm and lovable. It also helps that she's not Little Miss Sunshine all the damn time, and there's actual layers to her character. Ho Jin is quite a brusque and curt character, but his kindness shines through the straight-edged and blunt person that he is. He's written to be not a perfect guy, but a good guy, a really good guy, and I like that. I love that Muhi's interest in Ho Jin stems from his kindness. He takes her to see a doctor when she has a breakdown. He's genuinely concerned about her and asks follow-up questions the next time they meet. The story puts them in positions where she needs to relay her feelings to someone, and Ho Jin is instrumental in getting that information across. So in a way, he gets insight into her. I found that an interesting spin on the getting to know you plot point. I also immensely enjoyed the slow burn romance this was, but at some point, I was getting ready to volunteer to get a blowtorch to melt Ho Jin's heart. Like, brother, fall in love already. Translation is an integral part of the story, not only across languages, but the story also highlights instances where the speaker's intention and the listener's perception of what is being spoken are not aligned. I hate it when a K-drama begins with an interesting premise and abandons it halfway to fall into familiar tropes. I love how they really stick with this translation motif and see it through to the end. Another thing is, when you get to the final episodes and learn Muhi's backstory and the through line the writer has drawn and the breadcrumbs that were present from the very first episode and seeing everything come together, it was very, very satisfying. Do you smell that? That's the smell of a writer making effort. Finally, the way the story handles Ho Jin and Jisung's relationship, Jisung and Jinsuk's relationship, was very, very well done. These are all elements that make the watching experience richer. I loved it. The drama also looks very gorgeous. The portion of the plot that takes place in Italy, where Dorami is in control, becomes boring fast. The story feels very meandering at this point. I wasn't a big fan of this part of the series. Once Dorami stopped being merely psychological and became a literal physical manifestation, I expected Ho Jin to be a lot more alarmed. This is a potential disaster waiting to happen. There's an inexhaustible list of things Dorami could do without Cha Mu Hui knowing. Show up on set and cause a scene, spend her money, all her money, cancel or breach a contract. There's a lot. I just found it very odd that the person who encouraged her to seek therapy in the first place let it slide and decided to kind of handle it himself. I side-eyed that decision with both eyes.
Here's me on the scale of caring. I couldn't care less.
Do I feel for the Japanese actor? No. Zero. Nothing. Not even a hint of a tinge of a drop of empathy. After the balloon incident, I found myself unable to vibe with the character. And what is the balloon incident, I hear you ask? Oh, I'll tell you. He and Mui are shooting a variety show, and instead of meeting her like a normal person at the designated spot, he gets on a bicycle, rides to some unknown location, releases a balloon to signal his location, and when Mui comes running in that direction, he rides off to another location to repeat the same shit.
Jail, right away.
Utter crap.
Had my girl running around like a headless chicken. Ho Jin finally put an end to it and my murderous rage by telling her exactly where to go and find him. Thankfully, she found him, so wow, I guess. As he handed over the remaining balloons, I thought, what the fuck is this welcome gift? What the hell is she supposed to do with them? Levitate away from him, I hoped. And then, he intentionally lets them go before she can even get a hold of the stupid balloons.
I hope all the bad things in life happen to you.
And because he wasn't awful enough, there's also the lost lens fiasco. He does get better as the series progresses, but I just never warmed up to him. I was ambivalent towards him at best. After finding out her manager and Ho Jin are sharing a room, Mu Hui willy-nilly creeps over. Oh, you're here. I didn't know. I'm here to see my manager and didn't know you would be here. In this room. Ho Jin then hands over the phone, informing her that her manager wants her to come get her phone that she just left with him downstairs. The humiliation. Absolute cinema. After Ho Jin gets locked out of his room, Mu Hui elects to stay with him even though she has her room key. Of course she does. My girl is down bad. They begin conversing and it's so adorable. Not just that they're attracted to each other or that it's sexually charged. Two people looking like they enjoy each other's presence and spending time with each other. The ease. Ugh. After a couple have a big fight, Ho Jin's mentor orchestrates events so that they have to spend time together at Ho Jin's house. And here we see the full extent of Mu Hui's shamelessness. Being in the same space as someone I have unresolved romantic issues with,
No ma'am. No ma'am.
I would wither into dust if I were on the receiving end of his indifference or any of these statements. But my girl is a fighter. She stays and it makes for an entertaining watch. Mu Hui's uncle comes to dissuade Ho Jin from getting in a relationship with Mu Hui, citing her behavior as a child. It's the audacity for me. The freshly baked in the oven audacity. Like he genuinely feels he's doing Ho Jin a favor for having this opinion of a child who was in his care. Has an older person ever said something so horrible and you just need a minute to breathe?
The Lord is testing me.
And you just think, how do you live up to this big age and still say stuff like this? Anyway, Ho Jin thanks him but informs him that he's already aware. Mic drop. I love the writer. This is so cathartic. Ho Jin is now one of my favorite male characters and the best male character of the year 2026. We'll see how the rest of the year pans out and if he'll retain the title. Same goes for Mu Hui. She's my favorite female character of the year. Love, love, love her. Mu Hui's uncle and aunts are just awful. In fact, her parents included. Just awful, awful people.
Boom.